You have heard it 100 times. Sixth house, eighth house, and 12th house, the bad houses, trick houses. Avoid activating them, fear their dashas, dread their transits. But here is what actually nobody explains. Why are these three grouped together in the first place? What do they have actually in common? And more importantly, what makes each one completely different from the other two? Let's start with what unites them. All three trick houses involved the breakdown of something you were depending on. That's a shared thread. But how that breakdown happens, that's where they split into three completely distinct experiences. And once you understand the mechanism behind each one, you will never lump them together again. Let's start with the sixth house. Change through active conflict. This is the house where you know exactly what you are up against. Think of someone stuck at a toxic workplace, clashing with a manager, fighting for credit that keeps getting stolen, caught in office politics day after day after day. They are not blindsided by any of it. They are awake, aware, and in it. Over months, that friction either sharpens them or teaches them to hold boundaries, builds real resilience, or it wears them down into burnout. Either outcome, notice something important. They were conscious and fighting the entire time. You see this same pattern everywhere. A legal dispute with a neighbor over property lines, someone managing a chronic illness, diabetes, back pain, locked in an ongoing manageable battle with their own body. Debt being paid down bit by bit, every EMI a conscious transaction. That's sixth house change. You saw it coming and you fought it. Now the eighth house. And this is where people get it wrong. Change through forced removal, not a battle you signed up for, not a slow decline you watched happen. One day, a structure you were relying on is completely gone, and you had no vote in that matter. Picture someone getting a call that a parent has passed away suddenly. No warning, no negotiation, no version of events where they got a say. One day, the simple fact of I have a parent I can call just stops being true. They don't get to process it in advance who they are after the fact. This is the mechanism behind every 8th house event, whether it's dramatic or ordinary. Getting laid off with zero notice and the job that funded your entire life just isn't there anymore Monday morning. Discovering your partner had been lying about something major. The information did not ask your permission to surface, it just did. A sudden diagnosis that rewrites your 5 year plan overnight. This is why 8th house transformation is such an overused, under-explained phrase. It doesn't mean you evolved into some new spiritual version of yourself. It means something you were leaning on got taken away without your consent, and what's left after that? The very ordinary, very human process of learning to stand without that old crutch. That's the transformation. Not chosen growth, forced reorganization. And then there is the 12th house, change through voluntary release. This is the one people confuse with the 8th, but they are mechanically opposite in one crucial way. The 8th removes the floor from under you. The 12th is you slowly, quietly stepping off it yourself. Think of someone who realizes a friendship has run its course. No fight, no betrayal, just a slow drift. They stop initiating, they stop expecting much back. Eventually, it fades out, and there was never even the conversation. Painful but chosen in slow motion. You see this in moving abroad for a new life, knowingly leaving the familiar behind, in choosing to end a therapy practice or a spiritual path you have outgrown. Even in something as mundane as falling asleep every night, a voluntary surrender of consciousness that nobody frames as loss. But structurally, it's the same mechanism as every other 12th house release. So, here is the test. The one thing that tells you in any moment of change which trick house is actually running the show. Ask yourself three questions. Did I see it coming and did I fight it? That's the sixth house. Did it happen to me with zero warning? That's the eighth house. Did I slowly let it happen even though it hurt? That's the 12th house. Same category, all three involve loss. but three completely different emotional signatures. Conflict fatigue doesn't feel like grief. Grief doesn't feel like surrender. And once you can tell these apart in your own life, you stop fearing trick houses as some blanket bad omen and start reading them for what they actually are. Three distinct three distinct mechanisms of change, each demanding a different response from you. So next time something falls apart in your life, before you panic, before you call it fate, ask which of these three questions actually describes what happened. That answer will tell you more than any generic bad house warning ever could.